Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am testing to see if I can make a whip and chat video with my iPad. Not sure that I can, but I'm definitely going to give it a try. So I'm just testing this out to see if I can do this because I'm trying to see if I can do some editing when I do my whip and chat videos. And the reason why is because when I do my whip and chat videos, I like to talk to you about some of the books that I read, but because I'm doing the videos on my laptop, I am unable to show any book covers. And the reason why is simply because I haven't taken the time to learn a good editing software for my laptop. That's just a time thing because I'm pretty technical, technically able, so I just have to take the time to learn. So, what am I doing right now? I am working on Couch Dragon by Randall Spangler, which is from Diamond Art Club. And I just completed, I'm going to just shut my door. I just completed Hawaiian Life. It's also from Diamond Art Club. I finished that one I think it was yesterday or the day before, I'm not sure. And I jumped right into Couch Dragon, and now I'm working on the third and fourth rows. By the way, I'm doing my squares. I'm doing like two to 2.5 squares at a time. And the reason I'm doing such large sections at a time is because it's so much color blocking. And so this diamond painting is going to go super, super fast. In fact, I'm going live on this channel on September 17th. And I had intended to work on Couch Dragon on this channel. But I have a very strong feeling that this thing will be done way before the 17th. I do have 2 other diamond paintings in progress. Girl on a tree or something like that. She's reading. She's sitting on a log and she's reading. And I have a Dreamer Designs diamond painting. So I do have those 2. Or I can just start a new one altogether for when I go live. I'm just not sure how I'm going to handle that. So, what's been going on with me this week? Let's see. It's been a nice transition into September. I did float around with a headache for a few days, but getting enough rest and replenishing my electrolytes have eliminated that problem. So I am feeling back to as good as I can feel, notwithstanding some of the chronic issues that I cope with, but I'm doing pretty good. I finished up my August month, so I have to make a video for my August wrap-up. I did a short, which a short has to be 1 minute or less, so I did a video short. So if you watch my channel, you may have seen that 60-second video of the 57 books that I read this month or last month. And now we are in September. It is September 3rd, and I'm reading, I think, my 8th book of the month. It's already been a very effective reading month these last couple of days. And right now I'm reading a historical fiction. And before that, I read a couple of women's fiction. And the women's fiction books were from Berkeley, so it's a cross between women's fiction and romance. And now, like I said, I'm reading the historical fiction, and the one that I am reading is The Bletchley Girls, and I'm not quite sure who the author is, but we are just going to go back to the beginning, and I can tell you. Oh, Anna Stewart. I have read maybe 3 or 4 of her historical fiction already, and it's from Bookouture, so usually when her books come up, I don't even look at the blurb or any previous reviews or anything. I just say yes, because Anna Stewart is a very effective writer. Now, some of the historical fiction books that I've been reading lately are about women who join the resistance and try to they're spies, they're trying to thwart the Germans, they're doing whatever they can to save people. So we have some women in this book who are doing that, and that's why the book is called The Bletchley Girls. In addition to that, it's been an effective, very effective day goal-wise. I wanted to do two things today. One is to make all the videos for all the books I read up until this morning, and the second thing is to write some book reviews. And I haven't done that yet, but it's not due to any other reason other than I just am plotting it out. So I just want to check and see something. I want to check two statuses. I have my phone right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to check two statuses. Nope, I don't want channel dashboard. That's okay. So I just want to tell you what I have in mind. Okay, I'm watching. Let's see, where's my camera? Let's see. Bear with me. Okay, there you have it. Okay, so these are my stats for my blog, and you can see it's a little blurry. I'm waiting for it to clear up, but it's not clearing up. I'm waiting. It's at 399,894, so I am 106 views away from 400,000 views on this channel. Last month was a great month. Sorry for hitting the camera. I had over 17,000 views last month, almost 18,000, and usually I get about 12 to 13,000. I used to get 5,000, then 8,000, then 10,000. Now I moved up to 17,797. That's the last 7 days, but let's look at the last 30 days. And that was a peak day for me right there when I got over 3,000 views in one day. All right, so that's one of the things I wanted to check. The other thing I wanted to check is my writing that I'm going to go do in about an hour. These are my blog tours for September. If I bring it any closer, it gets a little blurry, so we'll leave it right there. The blog tours that I have, I've done these two, so we're just going to hit bold. Okay, so I've done the top two here, the ones that I just hit bold on, and then I have to do these five right here. The Lost Ticket by Freya Sampson, The Most Likely Club by Alyssa Friedland, My Name is Ona Judge by Suzette D. Harrison, I haven't read The Girl from, okay, so we'll skip that one for right now. Then The Nanny from Ruth Held. That will take me until the 9th. So the plan that I have is to read the book that I'm reading now, which is The Bletchley Girls, and then go in and write those 4 or 5 reviews, and then I will read The Girl from Grenica, and then I will read Do You Take the Man by Denise Williams. Either that or I will read the rest of these right here. These are the last of Bookouture to take me to the end of September. Actually, it goes all the way down to here. But I am very, very, very happy with how busy I am. And like I said, I wanted to check 2 statuses. The other status that I wanted to check is in my channel dashboard in my YouTube studio. And I did meet that first goal of getting my reviews done. So if you look here, if you can read that, all right here, it says scheduled. Whoops, untap that. So I've got 11, or between 11 and 13 all set up to go. All set up. And that will take me until maybe it says here September 16th. So today is the 4th, and I got two videos that went up today. And then I have a video that will go up 3 or 4 on the 6th. I've got 3 going up on the 6th. That will be Desperation and Death by J.D. Robb, My Name is Ona Judge by Suzette D. Harrison, and The Most Likely Club by Elisa Friedland rather. So those are the 3 that are going up on the 6th. And then I have one going up for the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And then I jump up to the 13th, but that's only because I have those Berkeley books to read, Do You Take This Man by Denise Williams and The Winter Orphans by Kristen Beck. Those will get squeezed in between the existing. So I've been busy. I have been busy. So let's realign my camera. This video, like I said, is a test to see how effective a whip and chat can be done with my iPad on this boom arm. So you may not even see this video. This is really a test. So I'm down here and it looks to me like that's not even showing. Yeah, right here. So this might just be me chatting to myself as I test out doing this with the iPad versus doing it with the webcam. So my stats for August were surprisingly good, and I say that because I went on vacation for a week and I babysat several days in the last week and a half. So there's a lot of hours, lots and lots of hours that I don't get a chance to read. But fortunately, I'm going to bring up something else. If I bring up my summary page on my phone, which is in Google Sheets, you see it says summary right there at the bottom. My summary page gives me stats of 17,745 pages that I read for the 57 books I read in August, and that's with being gone for a week. Last month I read 63 books, so I did fall short by 5,000 pages, but that's quite all right. As mentioned, I am reading my 7th book of the month right now, and my goal is 2.5 books a month, or 70 books for September. And with that, I am at a great spot. I'm going to show you right now. If you can see this, let's make it a little smaller, but not too small. It says I'm reading The Bletchley Girls, which I kind of made a little bit too small, so it's over here. And it is book number what? Can you see that? 400. Yes, book number 400 for the month. I mean the year. Oh my gosh, for the year. So I am about to reach my Goodreads goal. What I think I will, for most of the year, I had a feeling that I might meet that goal, and I was thinking of keeping it at 400 and let it just give me that 110%, 115%. Or I can go into Goodreads and change it. And if I do change it, the change will be 500. But if I read 70 books in September, and then I go on and read maybe 60, because I like to do a hard month and then a simpler month. So if I drop down to 55 or 60 in October, then back up to maybe 65 or 70, so basically I might get to 600 this year. That's all I'm trying to say. Anything else? Oh, can we talk about Big Brother, please? Please. I've never talked about that show on this channel, but I think CBS has to do a little bit more reconnaissance when it's choosing its house guests. Now, as human beings, we are all as different as night and day. We all have our different personalities, our different, is it felicitudes, if I'm going to say the word correctly? And we have our likes and dislikes. We have what draws us to a person, but we also have what repels a person to us by personality trait, by what they say, by their actions and things of that nature. Well, I have been a Big Brother fan since its inception. Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. Don't come at me. It's one of the very few things I watch on television. And from week 2 or week 3, and I don't remember, I don't have no idea what week the show is on now. All I know it's like day 53 or 54. But from the very beginning, the house guests decided that they hated Taylor. And she was the victim of bullying that went on for weeks, with us as viewers not seeing CBS or Allison Grodner do anything about it. It wasn't until just a couple of days ago when Kyle, who, if you watch social media like Twitter, Good News, Reddit, and a host of other online places, there was a big problem with Kyle making racial assumptions or showing racial bias in such a way that it was it was assumed by a lot of people on this side of the house that we have a prejudiced house guest, a house guest who is racist. Now, part of me feels like this, and this has nothing to do with Kyle. This is just my opinion about social media. Part of me wishes that I did not see any Big Brother leakage on social media. Part of me wishes that everything that I was seeing on Big Brother was based on what CBS allows us to see on the shows that come out during the week. But that's not the case, because it's going to come up in my feeds everywhere. On every social media platform I'm on, I'm going to get feeds about Big Brother. It's just the nature of the beast with today's day of technology. Well, remember I said for several weeks Taylor was the victim of bullying, which CBS never addressed. They never said, nothing alike, we do not condone such and such. This is just, but the house guests are allowed to, whatever. They never gave nothing like that. It wasn't until Kyle's behavior shifted, especially with the eviction of Joseph and how Joseph ended up being evicted, that to me as a watcher, as a viewer, I feel that in the diary room sessions, CBS stepped in, because number one, CBS showed us a house meeting on Thursday's episode, but on social media, especially YouTube, we saw Kyle go from black guest to black guest to black guest, trying to assuage his guilt for the comments that he made, to the point where he kept saying, but I didn't mean it. It was misinterpreted. I. It was so full of I statements, it was making me nauseous. That's where I mentioned I kind of wish that I wasn't so involved with social media so that this stuff kept coming through my feed. Do I have to watch it? Of course I don't have to watch it. But why did I become aware of Kyle's apparent racism on social media before I became aware of it on CBS? Now, I say apparent because I don't think that he was born to be racist or that he may even have any real racial inclinations. What I do feel about Kyle is that as a 30-year-old man who is a former Mormon, living at home with his mom, making dancing funny TikTok videos, he was so sheltered to the point where he didn't know what to do with himself when he got around a bunch of black people. And that's a sad statement, because one of the things that he said, I don't know if this aired on CBS, but one of the things he said is, for the next few days while I'm in this house, I hope that I can be educated so I can be a better person. It's nobody's job to educate a 30-year-old man. Okay? But why am I talking about it? because I have opinions on this. I was in a situation where somebody said, oh, my neighbor, yeah, my colored neighbor. I'm not going to say what situation I was in, but this person who I had regular contact with through a social media platform actually called black people colored. I think that went out with the 60s. It's a racial slur, in my opinion. Okay? Because to be politically correct, it went from black to African American. Personally, I prefer to be called black, not African American, because if you do any genealogy search on my family line, we have no African ancestors. Our family comes from different locations like Syria, Canada, Barbados, not Africa. Or who knows? They could have come from Canada by way of Africa, but if you're coming from, okay, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to stop there. So I'm going to say this. I prefer to be called black, but I certainly don't want to be referred to as colored. I did say something to the individual that day. I don't think it was taken well, and I think there were repercussions because I made the correction publicly on it being an politically incorrect term. What does that have to do with the show, the Big Brother show? Because people like Kyle, people like the person who used an incorrect, a non-politically correct term, may not be racist at all. They may not have an ounce of dislike for someone based on the color of their skin. But on the Big Brother show, Kyle said basically he enumerated the black house guests, which were Terrence, Taylor, Monty, and Jasmine. And then he named Joseph, who's Middle Eastern, and he lumped him in as a quote-unquote non-white. So the nature of the Big Brother show has changed, and with this world and Black Lives Matter, I find it very disgusting that Big Brother didn't vet their house guests a little bit better or preempt any racial undertones that might have been festering over the course of the last 50 or 51 days. That's my opinion. Only my opinion. And it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that I could choose not to continue to watch the rest of the season or not to continue to watch the show. But I don't want it to seem like I'm bashing the show, I'm bashing CBS, or bashing Allison Gardner, because I'm not. I've been a fan of Big Brother for, 24 seasons? So when season 25 rolls around, you bet your bottom dollar my Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be devoted to watching Big Brother. When Celebrity Big Brother comes on, I'll be watching that as well. So I'm not bashing the show. I'm just a little taken aback at the aggressive nature towards Taylor in the beginning and the inferences that Kyle was making, but I think he was making those inferences on a naive basis. I haven't even touched on the showmance on the show. I think that was absolutely ridiculous to think that you're head over heels in love with somebody that you don't know outside of the Big Brother house and that you've only known for a matter of a couple of weeks. But such is life, you know. Now let's talk about being sheltered, okay? Certain things I've never done in my life. I've never been to a bar. I've never been to a club. I've never imbibed more than a drink or two of alcohol or any drugs. I've just never done any of those things. I've never had a wide circle of friends other than my theocratic friends or my friends that I have because of the hobbies, you know, reading, reviewing, or whatever. So if anybody has had a sheltered life, I kind of would say I did, because I became a Jehovah's Witness at the age of, I got baptized when I was 15 years old, so I avoided a lot of pitfalls that some young people may fall into as they are teenagers in high school and in college. I didn't experience a lot of life outside of what the dictates of my faith offered. And when I say that, I got married at 21, had my first child at 23, and now I have 6 adult children and 10 grandchildren, and I've been married for 40 years, and that's what I know. So I think I may say something that could be easily misconstrued based on the naivete that the life I have led has dictated, and that's kind of my presumption on what happened on that television show. And why I think it's important as far as the show's producers dealing with it is the political climate in this world is very sensitive. And if the show doesn't address it or didn't address it by maybe perhaps suggesting that House meeting, then there could be some serious blowback. Now, there's something else that I will say about this whole thing, about the treatment of Taylor and Big Brother. How a how a black person sees those actions and how a white person sees those actions, the glass is not going to feel the same. A black person is not going to look in the mirror and see a white person, and a white person is not going to look in the mirror and see a black person. So how I feel about the actions of the cast on this particular season of Big Brother is going to differ from perhaps a white person. And that has nothing to do with me having any prejudices. It's just that the life that we live as black people are experiences that a white person has never had to undergo. And I think I did a video on this channel, Racism in YouTube. There are prejudices in this world still today. The racial climate in this world is intense till today. Now, I just read a book called My Name is Ona Judge by Suzette D. Harrison maybe 3 or 4 days ago. And it was a dual timeline story, but the main thrust of the story was our character Ona Judge was born a slave and eventually escaped slavery, and tells her story by means of a journal that our character Tessa discovers. And when you see the things that slaves endured, it breaks your heart. And when I read anything by Suzette D. Harrison, and she's published by Bookature, by the way, but when I read her books, it reminds me, or it tells me, hey girl, don't think that your brown skin isn't going to be anybody's target, because this world has gotten to be a better place. No, this world really is still a pretty rough place. But it doesn't deter me from finding joy in life, from having friends from all walks of life, from having hope, from having joy. It doesn't prevent, it just makes me aware. Now, my son posted on his status today that I speak 3 languages: white English, black English, and foreign English. Yeah, there's differences. You know, I said to somebody the other day that Kyle needs to be woke as to what's going on in the world today, and watch how he says it. Okay, a white person isn't going to use the word woke unless maybe they're a rapper or they listen to rap music. Other than that, it's a black word. So yeah, I know more than one language. I try to speak the pure language. Want to know what the pure language is? It's the hope in the truth of God's word, the Bible. That's the language that I want to be absolutely fluent in. So why do I subject myself to shows like this that raise my hackles when it comes to the possibility that CBS dropped the ball when it didn't address some of these racial issues. And one thing I wanted to say is, whatever happens on that show isn't just in the context of the show. It's going to affect people when they leave the show, when they go back to their regular lives or their regular jobs or their families. So anyway, I just feel some kind of way about it. Like I said, it's not going to take me away from the show. And I'll give you just a simple example. Ruth Ware and Riley Sager. I love their books, right? But I did not love Survive the Night, which is Riley Sager's newest book. And I did not love The It Girl, which is Ruth Ware's newest book. It doesn't mean that I have painted a black mark across those authors' names because I didn't like their two latest books. It just means that I have to wait and see the next book that comes out and see if, in my mind, do they redeem themselves and write a book that I can enjoy. So that's just a quick comparison to why do I watch this show. It's a guilty pleasure, as I mentioned. I love it. And why am I single placing? I have no idea. I never single place, but while I'm talking to you, I got distracted and just started plopping one drill down at a time. So that's what is on my mind, because my feed just keeps getting filled. The only way not to have that stuff come through my feed is every time I get a reference to that show, I know I could click do not recommend channel, do not recommend things like this. And I guess if I clicked it enough times, then the analytics won't keep bringing it to my attention. But it's like, let's say if you love chocolate, right? And you find yourself stuck in the house and have no access to the store, then you're not going to worry about overindulging in something that you love, like chocolate, right? But let's say you get a ride to the store, or you drive to the store, or you have access to the store. You might buy 3 or 4 candy bars or a bag of candy and overindulge on that chocolate because it's available to you. Well, all this content that is exposing things that CBS wasn't dealing with is available to me, and I was overindulging. But it's kind of good in a way because it makes you think. It keeps you aware. It keeps you alert. It keeps you on your toes, you know. So anyway, I'm going to end this video and watch it back and see if this iPad took a good enough video. And if it did, then I will know in the future that I can use this iPad to stream or to do future videos. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye.